Minister, the Honorable Land Minister, you're dealing with Henry Mubiru. You know Walugembe very well.
I know Walugembe.
I don't know who introduced the other. Was it Walugembe who introduced Mubiru or Mubiru who introduced Walugembe? I don't know. But they are good land dealers, both of them. They are very good, and they are called, in Kampala they call them a name, I think. What are they called? They're called Bayungirizi or something. Land brokers. And you have this system, and that's I asked this question because I wanted to take us sort of into the next. So did you know the character of the people you were dealing with?
My Lord, Mubiru Henry, I will produce Mubiru Henry, who is my worker. Mubiru Henry.
Are you proud of him?
I am talking about.
Are you proud of Mubiru Henry? Even with the things he did at Custodian Board, are you proud that some broker you get on the street can actually go and attempt to steal government land? Are you proud of that kind of behavior?
My Lord,
For me, it is theft. I mean, look, I'm a lawyer and I know that you cannot steal land because land is an immovable chattel. But in the common parlance, in the normal mind of a human being, it is actually theft. Mubiru is trying to steal. He's your good worker. Is that all right? He even says he signs in your position, managing director. Is that all right, Honorable Minister?
I have given my opinion on.
Is that all right? Matter. Don't tell me about your last opinions. You spent a whole night. You should have thought about that thing. Is that all right?
In respect to.
Is that all right that somebody should attempt to steal 5 buildings in this city in your name, and you don't? It doesn't bother you? I need an answer.
My Lord, extensively I answered the issue.
I want you to answer my questions. Is that all right?
In respect to?
Is it all right for Henry Mubiru to actually be, you guys got him. He's a streetwise guy. You said you're the man who can do the deals. I am the minister, I can't do this. Go to the Departed Agents Custodian Board, apply for these buildings. And I'm saying, now, when you look back, today at 10 a.m., on the 9th of May, is that all right? Is that all right? A minister of lands, a member of the board, using Mubiru to take people's properties, is that all right?
My Lord, we have not taken any property.
Is that all right?
My Lord,
is it all right?
I request not to make a comment on the matter.
Okay, you want to make a statement about it instead? Which one do you choose to do? Because this is a commission, I'm asking you a question. Is it all right for a person to attempt to steal? In fact, at some point you stole because the land changed names and the person had to buy it back. Is it all right in this day and era? That's a matter of conscience. You don't need to read a book.
My Lord, can I consult my counsel?
You want to consult your counsel to tell you whether it was all right or not? Really?
Can I consult my counsel?
You may consult him, as long as he doesn't write for you. And please close that book, counsel, and let your witness consult you.
My Lord, my counsel is in agreement to the fact that I answered in respect to number one, I can produce Mubiru working with Amobet. I can.
That answer is not the question I asked. I did not ask you whether you can produce. This morning, I haven't asked you that. My question is, it doesn't matter which Mubiru you produce.
Okay.
Is it all right? Is it okay? Is it in fact lawful for a person to hold out for a minister and obtain buildings and attempt to evict and even maybe evict people? Is it okay? Is it justifiable?
My Lord, like yesterday I indicated that custodian board had really indicated that those properties were available, and I will beg that the commission interacts more, because you will find not only these properties having issue, you will find there are many more, maybe even more than 500 properties.
The difference between 500
board,
or 1,500 or 3,000 properties having problems and yours is that in this case, people are saying the minister is stealing our buildings. That's a difference.
And I am not.
So it's all right. What Henry Mubiru did was all right. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that the opinion that the minister is stealing is the opinion of those who have made the assertion. But I explained myself thoroughly yesterday.
No. And Honorable Minister, I would like to advise that yesterday was yesterday, today is the 8th of May. I beg your pardon? 9th of May. How would I forget that? It is the 9th of May, actually 1 year since this commission started its hearings. And we require fresh answers. Councillor, you wanted to say something?
No, my Lord, I was just reminding you of the date.
Thank you very much. I just wanted, again, to ask, the reason I'm asking these questions is because of the law. And I'm saying, is this what the law envisaged? Let us go back to the law. Let us go back to Section 12 of the Leadership Code Act. And you read it aloud again.
My Lord, let me consult my counsel.
To read the Leadership Code Act? Seriously? To read the Leadership Code Act? Honestly, if you consult your counsel on that one, I'm also going to advise that instead of reading it, you can make a statement about it.
A leader's spouse, agent, private company, or public company or business enterprise in which the leader's spouse or agent has a controlling interest shall not seek, accept, or hold any contract with any government or public body which the leader controls or directly participates in the decision making of its affairs, any foreign business organization where the contract is likely to be in conflict with the public interests. The leader who contravenes subsection 1 breaches this code and is liable to vacate office or be dismissed from office.
Return my document. There is a basis in law as to why those questions are valid. Do you have controlling authority in Amobet? Controlling interest?
Yes, 60%.
Good.
60%. Yes.
So this section says a leader, comma, a leader's spouse, comma, an agent on private company. What it means, therefore, actually, what it does, there is a rule in interpretation which is called a jus dem generis rule. Under that rule, you can expand from the leader to the private or public company or business enterprise to include people in between. And I'm actually informed that the amendment does so. I have my copy somewhere, which I will find in the due course. But your sister, yourself, anybody with a controlling interest, should not seek or accept to hold any contract. Is the Departed Agents Custodian Board a government or public body? Is the Departed Agents Custodian Board a government body?
Pardon? You are asking?
Honorable Minister, I'm going to give you one last opportunity, and you play around again. This game is going to change. Is the Departed Agents Property Custodian Board a government or public body or not?
It is an institution under Ministry of Finance. Which
is it government. A government body of some sort, yes. Parastatal, whatever you want to call it?
Yes, it is a government established by the Act.
Do you directly participate in some of its decision making?
Some, yes, some.
As a board member?
Some.
In fact, you are very involved in the making of its affairs, because as a board member, you have that overarching power over the custodian board, the executive, because you are the board. Isn't that right?
My Lord, is it okay to obtain the function of the board and
It is under the law. You know it. It's under the law. Actually, the functions are much more than you try to attempt to make them. You give them a narrow focus, but the functions are very, very wide.
I request to just get the function from the iPad.
Let your lawyer get them for you, and as he does so, please continue answering my questions. Pass your iPad to the lawyer and let's continue interacting. Do you or do you not think that Amobet was a special purpose vehicle that was used, by yourselves to acquire and amass buildings in another name that would otherwise not be directly associated with you, and that using this special purpose vehicle, you have actually been able to acquire at least 5 buildings. It doesn't matter if now you're trying to wash your hands of them, but Amobet has been able to successfully apply and acquire for allocations under the Departed Agents Custodian Board. Is that right or not? A special purpose vehicle. I know you say it was done, that you started this company long ago. When you became a minister, this company changed its form. You get a person to start applying on your behalf to get buildings allocated to you by virtue of the fact that you probably have more power. So if someone says it's a special purpose vehicle used by yourself to step aside and introduce a new person, would that person be far from the truth?
Yes, my Lord, because I can obtain for you other businesses when I became a minister that Amobet has engaged in and paid taxes to URA. I can avail to you in respect to other engagements.
And you should
to confirm to you that it is actually this particular one is a smaller portion of what it is doing. I can avail for you.
Can I have the TIN number of your Amobet company? Do you have the TIN number?
I can avail again also. I don't have it here.
What did you bring for us this morning that you promised to bring us yesterday regarding this company? You promised to avail us some documents.
Yesterday's documents, which the incorporation, I gave a copy yesterday.
So you don't have any document on you that shows how successful your company is,
Yesterday,
including its TIN number?
I was not requested to bring that one.
You have said that this commission should not should bring issues of this nature, like the running of the custodian board and others, to the attention of the ministers. And my question is, Honorable Minister, do you see that there is a problem of how efficiently we shall run a ministry if the minister is actually involved in dealings in land in that actual sector, that you're personally involved in some controversial land deals? Do you see a problem there?
My Lord, like I stated, custodian board, as a member of the board, I am just one of a few, and it is under Ministry of Finance. I would beg that you judge me on the issue of management of my sector in respect to what I have done in my sector.
And that is precisely what I'm asking. Precisely, I'm asking. Do you think, and the Commissioner did ask yesterday, do you think the sector is safe with having a minister who wants to remove, delete, amend the register of a title of somebody who has had their title from 1968, is in possession of their land now? Is the sector safe? Even just for one case. You know, one case is one too many. Even just one case.
My Lord, the issue of temporary allocation is not acquisition.
It is not temporary allocation. I haven't asked about temporary allocation. I'm asking, the moment the minister starts to question the title of a person who has been in a house from 1968 and says that title is forged, the implication is that the minister who is questioning the title and who actually is interested in that property wants to amend the register. Are we safe with that kind of minister?
My Lord, I can trace the document that I was brought by the whistleblower from immigration.
It has nothing to do with the whistleblower. It has nothing to do with the temporary allocation. It has everything to do with Amobet, with a person with controlling interest and her other capacity as a minister of lands.
My Lord, the issue which I was dealing with in respect to the 507 properties that was in the complaint, including
why don't you
29.
want to deal with the actual plot, 29 Acacia Avenue? Deal with it.
That's why.
Say, deal with it. Forget the whistleblower. Deal with this particular property. The fact that you can question a title that is actually very clearly set out and has a historic trail. Are we safe?
My Lord,
in fact, if you had succeeded, wouldn't it have been another situation where we see the wrong people get a title and the right people get thrown out?
My Lord, under the Departed Expropriated Properties Act, the Minister of Finance must sell a property of departed Asian first before a register is amended. That is the law.
And so what did you find in 29 Acacia? What was the situation of 29 Acacia?
29 I did not check.
You bought without checking?
No, it wasn't bought, my Lord.
You bought?
No.
You bought, okay, let's use a different word. You temporarily acquired. You were given a temporary allocation. You didn't check?
My Lord, Mr. Mubiru, who is the managing director, made the application.
What is Mr. Mubiru?
The managing director. I've used the context because he signed as director, but yesterday I corrected that the directorship he signed is in the context.
Do you think that
of a manager or operation?
Do you think that the word managing director will cure the fact that he is not any of those? whatever. Anyway, you think that Mubiru is to be blamed, that the company is bona fide, they can do what they want?
My Lord, my opinion is that...
now we are not even looking for your opinion because you're not an expert. Here you are actually a party too. We don't need an opinion. We need your word. Your word is what goes on record, not your opinion.
My Lord, my word is that Mr. Mubiru made the application and notified me, and that when the conflict started, notified me that custodian board had assured them, and it was not only him. There are very many other people that were allocated other properties on the assurance from the Secretariat of Departed Asian that the property reverted back to government and it was available for allocation, temporary allocation.
Do you now see why I asked you the question? Was it all right? Now that you look back.
Looking back, I would want reform in...
Looking back, how should a minister do business? In fact, how should a minister work in such a way that we can see the bright line between the minister, the Honorable Minister of Lands, and the controlling interest holder of Amobet? How should that happen? That is what we want going forward, not amendment of rules and the players are the same.
Learning a lesson I have picked from this matter would be that I should authorize, as directors, we should make authorization for any other business that can be done with government. And if we are going to do that, as a member who has a controlling authority, my
Okay, thank you. We resume. And can you just go back to what you were saying and complete your sentence?
What I was saying is that looking back, number one would be for me to examine more the advice of Lordship, the Commissioner Mary Oduka yesterday in respect to assessing Mubiru in terms of whether or not he continues with the company, but also as a minister to consult with my legal people on how I am able to do business and distinguish if there can be areas that he would have assessed that he gives advice. I think I would consult more the council, even the Attorney General, to give me advice on how to handle now the business of Amobet, my council and Attorney General.
Don't you think it would have been important for you to have asked that question at the beginning of your term as a minister? Don't you think it would have been important for you to have been aware? And I think for me the most disappointing part about your answer is that you have still learned nothing. But tell me, how much were you paying Mr. Mubiru monthly? Or does he get commissions?
Mr. Mubiru is paid a monthly salary of 2.1 million.
2.1 million?
Yes.
And how many staff work under Mr. Mubiru?
We have about 7.
You have about 7 staff.
Mm.
Do you know the law around employing more than 5 people? I think the law is still 5 people, and it's the Employment Act. What you need to do when you have more than 5 people?
Let me consult my counsel.
Okay, the question I want to ask so that you consult him fully is, are you registered with the National Social Security Fund?
Okay. My Lord, the council has indicated to me that when you employ more than 5 people, you are supposed to register them on NSSF workers' benefit. However, my Lord, the workers that we have, which work under Mubiro on permanent basis, are 3. So plus Mubiru, there are 4. The other ones are on short-term contract. They come and go. They are not permanent.
Okay.
Yes.
So the others are not permanent. Do you have a contract written for Mr. Mubiru? You have a contractual basis with him?
We only have appointment letter.
You have appointment letters. In other words, what the commission wants to know is, can we have the internal working documents of your businesses?
Okay.
Council, that will be all for that part. We will keep coming in and out anyway, so we can continue now.
All right. Thank you, my lord. Honorable Minister, among the things that were indicated in your summons was the issue of the land fund.
Yes.
And you made a statement in respect of that.
Yes.
And I want us to just discuss the land fund. Maybe first of all, I see that one of the first things you talk about in your statement is non-operationalization. That one, my lord. Yeah. You talk about basically the land fund not being operational. And I want you to tell us a bit about that, because when I look at the law, the land fund was established, and when I look at section 41 deals with the land fund, and subsection 10 of section 41 says as follows: the minister shall ensure that monies are provided for the land fund and ensure that the fund is duly established within 1 year after the coming into force of this act. So this act, of course, came into force a long time ago. So the question is, what is the state of the land fund? Have we established it or not? I know this is not you are not in office, but did your predecessors establish it in accordance with the requirements of the law? And if that didn't happen, if yes, then you'll need to indicate to us what is its status, and if no, what is holding it back?
Thank you, my lord. My lord, the land fund at the moment, its establishment should have operationalized, like you stated, section 41, particularly subsection 3, which talks about the monies to form part of the land fund shall be derived from the following sources: monies appropriated by Parliament, loans obtained by the government, grants from any donors, any monies paid into the fund under this act, any other source approved by the minister in writing in consultation with the minister responsible for finance. It also spells out what the monies are to be utilized for. However, when I came to office and made an interaction with the technical people handling the land fund, I realized that first, the output, because usually for you to even get all these monies in your budget, you need an output.
Maybe you're moving a bit too fast, Honorable Minister. What I wanted to know is it there? Was it done? Was there a land fund established within a year of the coming into force of the Land Act? That's why I referred you to subsection 10. Because that was a requirement of the law.
Yes.
Yes.
For now, really technically, it is not fully operationalized because the output that supports land...
I think we're mixing two issues. Existence and
Okay,
whether it is functioning. Yes. Does it exist? Can we say that we have a land fund? Is there a land fund?
That's why I was saying that under the requirements in the Ministry of, what we had requested is for Ministry of Finance to give us an output under Uganda Land Commission, which budget output would be land fund, and there are all the monies that would come. But at the moment, there is an output called support to Uganda Land Commission, which actually is development. So it is discretional. If it comes 20 billion.
And I think this is part of the problem. This is why I want us to go a bit carefully and understand, because we're trying to understand what's the problem with the sector.
Okay.
What's happening with the land fund? What would it take to establish a fund? The law has already provided for the existence of the fund. And then it says within 1 year, ensure that monies are provided. It doesn't say how much. It doesn't say all the money. It doesn't say, it doesn't put a minimum amount, but it says ensure that money is provided for the fund. And then ensure the fund is duly established within 1 year. So the first thing we need to understand, what would it take to establish a land fund? There is a clue in subsection 11. It says the Commission shall maintain separate accounts for the land fund from its other accounts. And then the land fund accounts shall be audited according to section 12. So one of the things we need to do, according to this, is provide some money. The law does not say how much. And also open an account. So I would think take those two things as important. The other thing could be under subsection 8. Do you have subsection 8 with you?
Yes.
The Commission shall ensure that as far as possible to the officers and other employees of the Commission who are allocated to the affairs of the land fund are identifiable and devote their attention exclusively to the affairs of the fund. So what it seems to me means that the Commission has to have employees. The fund has to have employees. Those employees must be full-time employees of the fund, and they must be known. So there must be formal appointments to be responsible for the fund. From what I can see, that is all the law requires. So that's when I ask, is there a land fund? That's really what I want to know. 1, does the fund have designated employees? 2, was there a fund, an account opened for the purposes of the fund? 3, was some money provided? If there are other requirements, you can point them out, but these are the ones I can see from reading the Act.
You are right. And what I had put in my response, written response, is actually what you are indicating, that there is need to operationalize the land fund as an independent output vote within the Uganda Land Commission. And
what concerns me, Honorable Minister, is you're talking, it seems to me that the entire government, because I've already knew you're talking about the cabinet, talking about how it will one day, after we've got oil in 2020 and we've done whatever, we'll have a land fund. But the land fund was established perhaps before we knew we'd get oil. and do all these wonderful things. It had a purpose.
Yes.
So I think we need to understand this. It's a simple thing. I think we can open the land fund with 100,000 shillings. The minimum required by a bank to open an account, we can open a land fund. We can have an account that is called land fund. We can employ any number of employees, even 2, and say this is the director of the land fund. Maybe he needs supporting staff. We decide the staff structure. We open it. This is what the law is saying. So the question is, why don't we have a land fund? And don't go to the budgets, because we don't need a lot of money to do that. It doesn't mean that on day one we should have enough money to buy land. No, just have it. Have it. That's what the law says, the account of the land fund. So is there a land fund account?
No, because the account that I use is the general output vote for support to Uganda Land Commission.
So what would prevent the establishment of something as simple as a bank account? A bank account. Just an entry into a bank system that says, whether it's Bank of Uganda, whatever, says this money that is here belongs to the land fund.